successful Sanmi at Money Magnet Show. Money Magnet Show. It's Money Magnet Show with Successful Sanmi.
On High Impact Radio, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Fridays, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. with Successful Sanmi.
Make, manage, multiply, and maximize your money. Yeah. With Successful Sanmi at Money Magnet Show. Money Magnet Show. It's Money Magnet Show with Successful Sanmi.
Okay, beautiful morning to you wherever you are listening to me from. So good to be here this morning. So this is High Impact 102.1 FM, and we are on the Money Magnet Show. Okay, so the Money Magnet Show is where we talk about how to make money, manage it, multiply, and how to maximize it. Okay, so that's what we do on the Money Magnet Show. The last time on the show, I spoke about the new tax law, which is coming up by January 2026. So from January 2026, if you don't have a tax ID, you may not be able to run your account from January 2026. And the tax system is going to be using other means to access your bank account, such that if you are not going to pay taxes, they can crack down on you. So it's something that is important for you to be part of this show this morning, because I want to talk about what your tax liability will be like in 2026. So come January 2026, when you're supposed to be receiving New Year money, New Year money may not come in. Yeah. You may not be able to send money out. Yeah. If you don't have a tax ID, and if you have not been paying tax before, get ready. 2026 is a new, different ball game. So I'm going to be explaining all of that on this morning show. You don't want to miss any part of it. So let me go. Do I need to even go on a short break? Yeah, let me go on a short break. When I'm back, we'll begin to talk about if you want to enjoy your money in 2026, you must listen to this one, right? Okay, so I'll be back after this break.
Make, manage, multiply, and maximize your money. Yeah. With Successful Sanmi at Money Magnet Show. Money Magnet Show. It's Money Magnet Show with Successful Sanmi.
On High Impact Radio, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Fridays, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. with Successful Sanmi.
Put a touch of class and finesse on your brand by advertising with us at High Impact 1021 FM. For more information, call 0706 393 5694, 0915 958 1881, or 0902 745 3931. Follow us on our social media platforms at High Impact 1021 FM. Our deals are hotter than the weather itself. Our deals are hotter than the weather itself.
Make, manage, multiply, and maximize your money. Yeah. With Successful Sanmi at Money Magnet Show. Money Magnet Show. It's Money Magnet Show with Successful Sanmi.
Okay, welcome back to the Money Magnet Show. So let's talk about this. So in 2026, January 1, once you don't have a tax ID on your bank account, you will not be able to operate your bank account. You will not be able to buy shares. You will not be able to do pensions. You will not be able to do investment. You will not be able to do most of the stuff. So what is a tax ID? Tax ID, I'm going to break it down. For an individual, the tax ID is going to be NIN. For a small business that is, if it's a small business and is a solo business or a business name, okay, it's going to be the CAC registration. For a big business, limited liability company, it's also going to be your RC, which is your registration number. Okay, so that's going to be your tax ID. And you must be able to get to the bank and make sure that you put your tax ID on your bank account. Make sure it's working there before January 1, 2026, so that your account will not be shut down or blocked and all that. Now, from January 2026, it is said, I mean, the new tax law have been signed into. I have the 4 laws, 4 new tax laws. In fact, it's not going to be Nigerian revenue, I mean, federal revenue, Federal Inland Revenue Service again. It's going to be Nigerian Revenue Service now. And so, come January 2024, everybody's going to be paying taxes. And I'm going to break down the explanation into 4 places. The first is individuals. When you earn 800,000 in a year, 800,000 and below in a year from 2026, you're not going to pay any tax. 800,000 and below, you are not going to pay any tax. So let's divide 800,000 divided by 12. Let me first say divided by 10. That's 80K, right? And by 12 it's going to be a little lesser. So that means averagely, if you earn like 67,000, thank you very much, that's like 66,000 or 67,000 every month, you will not be paying any taxes. And that is the only money coming into your account. If other money come, you must go and explain yourself to the tax man, to the tax office, right? You must understand that. So you must explain yourself to the tax office. So so if you earn only 800,000 in a year and no other amount of money comes in, then you are fine. You will not be taxed. Okay. But if you earn more than 800,000 in a year, you have to pay taxes. Okay. So how do you now pay the taxes? I'm going to explain to you. So let's assume that you earn 2.5 million, in a year. So let's assume you earn 200,000 every month, plus maybe a bonus of 500. So you earn 2.5 million every year from 2006. So the new tax law apply like this. So the first thing they would do is that they are going to say, of course, to start with, Nigeria use a progressive tax method. So the first 300,000, they will charge you 7%. The next 300,000, they will charge you 11%. The next 500,000, they will charge you 15%. The next 500,000, they will charge you 19%. So all of that will give you 21,000, 33,000, 75,000, 95,000. Everything amounting to 819,000. So remaining 900,000, right? So when you add that up, so what you have, therefore, is going to be 413,000 per year. That's going to be your taxable income. So let me re-explain that. So you have 2.5 million minus 800,000, right? 2.5 million minus 800,000 is going to give you 1.2 million plus 500. That's 1.7 million. So they will now tax you on the progressive. The first 300,000, they will charge you 7%. The next 300,000, they will charge you 11%. The next 500,000, they will charge you 15%. The next 500,000, they will charge you 19%. And then you'll be able to have all the figures required. So your taxable income is going to be 413,000 if you earn 2.5 million. So effectively, what you are paying is 16.5 million. I mean 16.5% on your 2.5 million, every year. So the more you earn, the higher the rate, up to 24% that you can pay in a year. So that's for individuals. Now, for those of you that are wondering that you need to get the calculation, you can head on to Niger Law Room. I have made a slide there, so you can follow me on Niger Law Room, where I spoke about the new tax law and other law matters. Like I just spoke about anti-torture law. If a police arrest you for any reason and they torture you, the police can go to prison for up to 25 years. I spoke about that over there as well. But the most important thing you might want to look for is the new tax law. I've explained it there. For those of you that are making 800,000 and below, or you are making 800,000 and more, okay, so the new tax law, I try to simplify how it applies to you from January 2026. And if you are earning, or let's say you make 4,000 naira in a day, okay, 4,000 naira times 365 is going to give me what? You want to help me with that? 4,000 naira multiplied by 365. So I'm trying to do this. Okay, thank you. That's 1.460. So for those people that are earning money per day, the moment your income exceeds 800, then you have to pay taxes, but you must know how to calculate it. Okay, so anytime your uncle gives you money, your auntie gives you money, your brother gives you money, let's say they say, okay, this 1 million is for mommy, pass the money to mommy, and it enters your account, and what you are earning is less than 800, and you don't have to pay tax. And then the 1 million of your uncle from UK enters your account, and then the taxman will come for you and say you have to pay tax unless you declare it. So you have to declare it. Now, what do I mean by declare? Every year that you have to pay your tax, you have to declare what the money in your account was meant for, so that you don't have to pay tax on money that you don't have to pay tax on. Having said that, let me move on to small business owners. So for small business owners of people that those are people that do business name registration, how are you going to pay tax? Now, your taxes are not essentially different from an individual as well, but there's a little tweak to it. The same rate applies, but if you have a business name and you have done business, you have run your business, your turnover is no more than 50 million in a year, you are not going to pay taxes. Let me say that again. So let's say you are a barber, hairdresser, tailor, mechanic. So if you are a mechanic, for instance, or you are a tailor, for instance, and you have an income of, let's say, 800,000 per year, or let's say somebody gave you money to buy parts so that you can fix his car, and they gave you 2.5 million, and your gain or your profit in all of that money is just 100,000, which is your own workmanship. You have to use 2.4 million to buy other things. You must declare that 2.4 million is your material money, is not your personal income. If you don't declare, from 2026, they will charge you 200% extra of the money you fail to declare. That is, you are going to pay 7.5 million or 5 million to 7.5 million of the money that it is not your money if you don't declare it to the tax office. So all of these things are very important, and they may not even ask you immediately. They will just come on you one day, and if you don't pay, you can go to prison. Okay? So it's something that can make someone go to prison if you don't pay your taxes. And it's going to be more serious in 2025. Okay? 2026. So having said that, for small business owner, what do you do to save yourself? When you have a business name, all the transaction you are doing, once it's not up to 50 million naira, okay, you are not going to pay any taxes. Out of that money, you can be sending some to yourself so that you'll be paying yourself some salary. It is from that salary, if it is more than 800,000, that you will now pay taxes. And you will have to calculate your taxable income. I've done that at the beginning of the show. If you want more explanation on how to calculate your taxable income, I did a slide on Naija Law Room. So you can go to that place on Instagram, Naija Law Room. Follow me there, and then you check either 2 or the 3rd slide. You're going to see where I did the calculation for individuals. You follow that and you are fine. Now, so a small business owner that has not done up to 50 million naira is not going to pay any taxes. You're not going to pay VAT. You're not going to pay company income tax, and then you're not going to pay personal income tax. But when you move money to yourself as your salary, then you either pay on that if it is more than 800,000 for a business name registration. So you need to understand that there's difference between business name registration and limited liability company. Limited liability company registration involves shareholders. You have shareholders. You are not the only one. So when you register your business as a limited liability, you are not the only one. You have shareholders, minimum of 2 people. Yourself and somebody else are directors. But when you register your business as a business name, you are the only person. So the business is more or less like you. So in that 50 million turnover, you will not pay any taxes. Once it's more than 50 million, they will calculate your taxable income. If you don't pay, you will pay a fine of 200%. Okay? That's what the new law says. For everyone that feels that they want to have a copy of the new law, you can go to send me a message that you want to join the WhatsApp community. I'll post it to the WhatsApp community. The WhatsApp community, the number is 0811 4545 706. So you can send a WhatsApp message to that number and saying that you want to join the my WhatsApp community. Then I will send the new law there so that you might be able to read it on your own. Now, moving forward, if your company is registered as a limited liability company, corporate limited liability company, you will not pay tax if all the turnover you have is less than 100 million in a year, and your asset is not up to 250 million. So if your asset that you have is not up to 250 million, you will not pay tax. And you will not pay tax if your turnover is not up to 100 million. Now, in the new tax law, you are not going to pay capital gain tax. Okay, so let me explain capital gain tax. Anytime you sell an asset, you have to pay capital gain tax. You sell a car, you have to pay capital gain tax. You sell a machine, you have to pay a capital gain tax. And in the new tax law, you are not paying capital gain taxes. You are going to only pay capital gain taxes on land that you sell in the new law. However, also in the new law, before you pay VAT on everything. So there are 3 types of taxes a business person can pay. it can pay personal income tax, it can pay value-added tax, it can pay company income tax. But in the new tax law, once you have not done 50 million naira as a small business and corporate liability business, if you have not done 100 million, then you are not going to pay VAT, you are not going to pay CIT. Okay, now the next thing you need to understand is the capital gain tax is what I was trying to explain. The capital gain tax is only on capital asset that you pay capital gain tax. Okay, so all of that, and then value added tax. Value added tax is for every value added, you pay tax. But in the new tax law, you're not going to pay value added tax on food item. So let me explain value added tax. So like 4 days ago, somebody beside me bought a food worth of 27,000 naira, bought different food worth of 27,000 naira, and we checked the receipt, and the receipt says that the value added tax on that, the value added tax on that is 4,000 naira on a food of 27,000 naira for different people. The tax is 4,000 naira. So that means if he has bought 27,000 naira worth of food for more people, like let's say 4 people, he will have paid like close to 20k on value added tax. But in the new tax law, there will not be value added tax on food, on education, on, for example, like drinks, okay, like bread. So you're not going to pay value added tax, and then they will refund the people that have incurred the value. So I'm saying all this because from January 2026, it's going to be a different ball game. Nobody can hide from tax, and it's not good that your account is closed because you cannot pay tax, and then they block your account. You cannot transfer money, you cannot receive money because of tax. It's good that you sort it out in 2025. Now, as a small business owner, if your transaction is less than 50 million in a year, you are not going to pay tax. But if you don't report to the Nigerian Revenue Service, you are going to pay a fine. You are going to pay a fine. So when you want to take contract or from government or big organization, there are times they ask you for your tax ID and tax papers, and then you have to go and say, okay, I'm not supposed to be paying tax because my turnover is not up to 50 million. Then they will ask you, where is the clearance from the tax office that you don't supposed to pay tax? Then you cannot get the clearance unless you have been submitting to them every month that my turnover is not up to 25 million. No. So therefore, clear me so that it will be clear that I'm not owing taxes. Even though you don't have to pay, you still have to report yourself to get clearance. So if you work in a place and you run a side business and you are taking the money of your side business inside your personal account and your money swell more than 800,000, you must explain yourself to the taxman in 2026. It's a different ball game. I'm going to open the phone line so that you can call. The number you can call me on is 0907 224 5018. Okay, that's the number you can call me on, 0907 224 5018, and you can also send me a WhatsApp message. You can, if you are on Instagram, you can drop a question for me on Instagram. Yeah, drop a question for me on Instagram, and let's see how that goes. I have a question on Instagram here already, and is from Digital City. He said, "Good morning, Dr. Successful. Do you think this will work well in Nigeria?" Well, tax is law. Nigeria law room is basically about laws. That's why I put it there. Tax is law. Whether the government has done anything for you or not, it's a law that you must obey. And if somebody do not obey, he will pay 200% of the money he failed to pay, and they can even put him in prison, or they can put him in prison and he will also pay. So it can be both. The other day I was following the news and I saw the head of FIRS. He was having a meeting with the head of EFCC, and they were saying in the report that they just want to work with EFCC so that people that fails to pay their tax, they can know that EFCC has a place where they can keep them. It's nobody want to go to prison, and you'll be surprised, 2026. So it's better you look at how you be tax compliant. It's law, you must obey. So that's it. Unless the government say, okay, it's not starting again in January 1st, 2026. But the tax law has been passed. It is now a law. So they can now decide when it will begin to take effect. But they have passed the law, they've done everything, and the content of the law is what I am explaining to you. In the real sense of it, the new tax law is better than the old tax law, sincerely speaking. But you may not appreciate it unless you know the old tax law, right? So if you have another question for me, you can send it through the WhatsApp. Through the WhatsApp on 0907-224-5018. And you can also call me on the same number, 0907-224-5018. And you can also drop your question on the Instagram I'm using right now, just to ask me the question on this new tax law that will take effect in Nigeria from 2026, unless the government give an otherwise instruction from 2026. And for those of you thinking that the government has to do something for you before you can pay tax, sorry, they don't have to do anything for you before you can pay tax. Tax is compulsory and you have to pay it. The government is taking it very serious from 2026, and if people that fails to pay will pay a fine of 200%, or go to jail and pay the fine. It's before they used to monitor who pay tax and who do not through their employer. Now they are going to monitor who pay tax through bank account and through other technologies, and then they are going to, the moment you do a transaction that exceeds 5 million, your bank will send there's an alert in the tax office immediately, and then they place a signal on someone, and even if the person is not they didn't approach you immediately, they will definitely approach you. I guess it's going to be a big work in 2025 for the tax body, and you don't want to be caught on the wrong side of the law. So the best thing to do is look inward. Any documentation you have to do it now. If you want to register a business, or your business that you have been doing, and then you have been collecting all the money inside your personal account, and you need to start looking at how you are going to do it now. It's better you register a business. To register a business name, it's about 15,000, and some people will register it for you 50k. Some people will register it 25,000. Register a business name so that everything you are doing in business, you take it through that route, and then the one that is your own income, you put it in your personal account, and then it will save you from a lot of stress. If you do 800,000 and below, you are sure that you don't have any problem. If you do 800,000 and above and it's not your money, you have to go declare in the tax office. And you have to take this very serious, because 2026 tax law is not going to, the implementation, the enforcement is going to be more tensed in 2026. Okay, so I'll go on a short break. When I'm back, I want to wrap up the show. If you have a question for me, you can call me on 0907 224 5018, and you can send me a WhatsApp on that line too. And you can equally send me a WhatsApp message right here on this line. So I've spoken about tax today and what is going to happen in 2026. Nobody wants to go to jail for not paying tax. So it's very important. I mean, you've just done a job as an artisan, and the job you did is 6 million, and your total money, your own total income in the 6 million is just 600,000. So 5.4 million is the money for materials, and you fail to declare, and they now ask you that, do you want to pay 200% or go to jail and pay 200%? You now say you have to pay 200% of the money that you don't have. That's about over 10 million naira you are going to be paying for tax. And once you can't pay that, you go to jail, and when you come back, you still pay the money. So it's better you understand what you're doing very well, and they're not going to come and approach you immediately. They're not going to say, oh, you just collected the money on Friday, oh yeah, go to sell on Saturday. No, they are going to give you time. It can even be up to 5 months, 8 months, and then somebody will just appear one day, or you receive a phone call. So it's better you do things properly. If you have been running your business with your personal account, please go and open a business, a CAC business name or a limited liability company. Run your business through your registered company. Pay yourself salary from your company. All the money in your company, in your business account, I hope you know it's not your money. Pay yourself salary from your own company. The rest of the money is for the company. Because of time, I would have loved to quickly teach you how to, but let me explain that in a moment after this question. So I have, for individuals, how much is the maximum taxable and ditto business? Okay, I've explained that earlier. So for individuals, 800, if you are earning 800,000 and below, you are not going to pay any taxes. If you earn 800,000 and above, you will pay taxes on taxable income. So what I did is that I used somebody earning 2.5 million in a year. I used it as an example. So you can go to Nigeria Law Room and follow me there. You will see the example there. I did a slide explaining with 2.5 million. So you can now use that to apply to your own. So if you are you are a small business owner and you make money right, left, you are a multiple stream of income person, you make money right, left, and center, and you don't know how much you're going to pay. So what I will advise you to do is go to your bank account and check all the accounts you're using, the one you use basically to pay and receive money a lot. Go and check how much is your average income transaction every month. Add it together from all the banks. It will give you an idea of how much you are moving every month. And when you get an idea of how much you are moving every month, the next thing you want to do is you want to go to fiscal, what's the name of their site? There's a website that government set up, and they put a calculator there. And then all you need to do is go there, put in the amount you are earning. It will give you an idea of how much you will pay in taxes. So for business, I also did a video, I also did a slide explaining that for business as well, how much they are going to pay. And I explained that if you are a small business owner and you are earning 25 million or 50 million below, then you don't have to pay taxes. That's if you're a business name. You are the only one in your business. If you are a corporate limited liability company, then if you are earning 100 million and below, you don't have to pay taxes, and your asset is less than 250 million, you don't have to pay taxes. However, you still have to report to the tax office so that they can give you a tax clearance that you don't have to pay any taxes. So that's how it's going to work in 2026. I think I have to go right now. I've answered all the questions. The show runs Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. You can always be part of the show. And till I come your way next time, Dr. Successful Sanmi is my name, and I'm saying remain financially intelligent.
Make, manage, multiply, and maximize your money.
Yeah, yeah.
With success.